In this video today, we're going to be talking about best college football coaching candidates for each team. I'm going to do this team by team and the teams who fired their coaches, and I'm going to name you that coach, and I think they'll be a good candidate. Now, Virginia Tech, I think for Virginia Tech, the best coach for them would be either James Franklin or Bob Chesney, the coach at James Madison. Both sound like good candidates. Virginia Tech, if I were you, I'd keep trying to reach out to James Franklin, which there was rumors that he was negotiating with Virginia Tech on his contract and on him potentially being the head coach at Virginia Tech, but there's other big programs that could potentially go after him, like a couple SEC schools such as LSU or Auburn. And those schools have more money than Virginia Tech. I think either James Franklin or Bob Chesney, the coach at James Madison, would be swell candidates at Virginia Tech. But also, Alex Golesh could be a great candidate for Virginia Tech as well. That's another coach I could look into if I were Virginia Tech. It's one of those three, in my opinion. Now, Florida, we already know who Florida's going to get. Well, try to get. It's Lane Kiffin. They want Lane Kiffin because what he's done at Ole Miss. But will he want to leave Ole Miss? There's a possibility he will, and there's a possibility he won't. But here's the thing. When it comes to Florida, he's not going to turn down the resources, the NIL, the money in Florida, the recruiting hotbed in the state of Florida. You think he'll want to stay in Mississippi to not want great NIL at Florida or great money at Florida, great recruiting resources, so on and such? Who knows? But some coaches like where they're at, which there's nothing wrong with that. But we'll just have to see. Now for Auburn, I think it could be James Franklin or John Sumrall at Tulane. I think it's going to be Franklin or John Sumrall. Those two sound like good candidates at Auburn. Sumrall and Franklin, in my opinion. Now, if there's other candidates, try to help me out in the comments and stuff. I'm naming what I can think of at the top of my head. Now, with LSU, I think LSU goes after John Sumrall at Tulane. All the success he's had at Tulane, and he'll have great resources at LSU, especially recruiting in the state of Louisiana and the NIL at LSU. As long as the governor doesn't continue on making the choices for the coach at LSU, which I think is ridiculous. You have to have your governor to help you pick out a coach for your football program, which I think is ridiculous. But what are we supposed to do? It's kind of sad that some schools have to have their governor involved. Yeah, let that sink in. Now, UCLA, I think the best coaching candidate for them is Kalani Sitake, the coach at BYU. I think Sitake would be a great fit at UCLA. Look what Sitake has done at BYU. They've had nothing but success, and they're 8-0, contending for the Big 12 championship, and they play Texas Tech this week. They could go to the college football playoff. They could win the Big 12 championship. Look what he does with Les at BYU. I mean, BYU's not one of those crazy recruiting hotbeds, have the craziest NIL resource and stuff like that. I mean, they're average when it comes to stuff like that, but what he does at BYU is really amazing. So, I think Sitake would be a great fit at UCLA. Now, for Oklahoma State, it'd be Jeff Traylor or Dana Holgorsen. With Dana Holgorsen, he was the offensive coordinator there under Mike Gundy. So I could see him getting the job, and I think he'd be a good fit at Oklahoma State. Now, for Penn State, either Matt Campbell or Lance Leopold. I think it could be one of those two. Leopold or Kiffin or Matt Campbell. One of those three. So those are the candidates I named. This is my video. Like and subscribe, comment, and share, and all that. And I'll make more videos eventually.